to my channel today. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video I'll be teaching you guys how to draft out this top that you can see on your screen. So if you're interested, keep on watching and let's get started. So I went ahead to fold my pattern paper into two because I want to draft out a full block bodice. So my pattern paper is folded into two. Next thing I'll do is to take half of my shoulder measurement, which is 8 inches. I'll indicate that with a dot, and on that point I'm going to go down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'll also indicate the 1 inch with a dot, and then I'll slant into the neckline area using my ruler. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to start taking my point. So the distance from my shoulder to my bust point is 10 inches. I'll indicate that with a dot and I'll rule a straight line across. The next point is the distance from my shoulder to my under bust, which is 13 inches. I'll also indicate that with a point and I'll rule a straight line across. The next point is the length of my top, which is also going to be my waistline. So the length of my top, I want it to be 16 inches. So I'm going to mark 16 inches and I'll rule a straight line across. The remaining 1 inch that I have on the base, I'm going to leave it as my hemming allowance. So to get my chest line, I'll go up by 2 inches from my bust point, and then I'll indicate that with a point and I'll go ahead and rule a straight line across. So my chest line is 8 inches. So after doing that, guys, I already have 8 inches on my shoulder line. I'll mark 8 inches on my chest line. I'll indicate that with a point. Then I'm going to connect the 2 points, the point on the shoulder line to meet the point on the chest line. I'll connect both points into a straight line. So guys, the next thing I'll do is to measure this straight line that I have here. What I have there is 7 inches. I'll divide it into 2 equal halves, which is 3.5 inches. I'll indicate the 3.5 inches with a dot. On that 3.5 inches mark, I'll come in by half an inch. And on my chest line, I'm going to place my bust circumference divided by 4. I'll also indicate that with a dot. After doing that, I'm going to use my ruler to connect from my shoulder line to meet the half an inch and to meet the point on my chest line, just like you see me doing. So in case you don't have a ruler, you can go ahead and use your free hand to do this. After doing that, I'm going to take my bust span measurement, which is my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. Mine is 4 inches, so I'll mark 4 inches on my waistline, 4 inches on the bust line, and 4 inches on my under bust line. I'll connect the 3 dots into a straight line like this. So after doing that, I'm going to take 0.75 inches on my center front and 0.75 inches on my side front. After taking the 0.75 inches on both sides of my dart, I'm going to go ahead and come down by 1 inch from my bust point. So I'll go down and indicate that with a point, and then I'm going to use my ruler to connect the dart to meet the 1 inch point. So guys, after connecting my dart, I'm going to go ahead and extend the dart leg to meet my chest line, just like you see me doing. After doing that, I'm also going to go ahead and extend the dart leg by 2 inches. I took 1 inch and then I changed my mind. I made it 2 inches. So go ahead and take 2 inches. So I went up by 2 inches. I took 1 inch before and I took another 1 inch. So altogether I went up by 2 inches from my chest line. Okay, so after doing that, guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to create my sweetheart neckline. So what I'm going to do is to go down from my chest line by half an inch or 0.75. You can even go down by 1 inch. Okay, it depends on how deep you want your center front to be. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead and tighten my over bust. So from this dart leg, I'm going to go out by 0.75 inch on the left and 0.75 inch on the right, and then I'm going to connect to meet my dart leg like this. So in case you don't understand what I'm saying, just look at what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to use my ruler to connect from this dart leg to meet my center front, just like you see me doing. So like I said, if you want your neckline, the sweetheart neckline, to be very deep, you can go down, even down to your bust point. It depends on what you want. So after connecting like this, we are going to go ahead and work on the side front. So guys, for the side front, I'm going to measure this tiny line that you can see on the armhole area. What I have is 1 inch. I'm going to divide it by 2. Half of 1 inch is half an inch, so I'm going to mark the half an inch point, just like you see me doing. On that half an inch point, I'm going to go down by another half an inch. So just look at what I'm doing. On that point, I went down by half an inch like this, and then I'm going to draw a straight line on that half an inch. So this is my new armhole. After doing that, guys, I'm going to connect from this dart leg to meet the half an inch mark that I just made, this straight line. So this is going to be our new armhole. I'm going to blend the armhole into the straight line, just like you see me doing. After doing that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start placing my basic bodice measurement. So on the chest line, I'll take my bust circumference divided by 4. I'll replace the dart, and then I'll add 1.5 inches for stitching allowance. On my under bust point, I'll place my under bust circumference divided by 4. I'll replace my dart and I'll add 1.5 inches for stitching allowance. And on my top length, which is my waistline, I'll mark my hip circumference divided by 4, and I'll also replace my dart and I'll add 1.5 inches for stitching allowance. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead and cut. So look at the way I'm cutting, so you know where to cut. So I just trimmed the side and the arm. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the same pattern paper to draft our back bodice. So I'm going to take 1 inch for my zipper allowance, and I'll roll the dots into a straight line. I'm going to bring in my front piece, just like you see me doing. So don't forget to trim out your shoulder slope. Okay, I'm going to just trim everything out as it is, but you don't even have to draft your back bodies. You can use your front bodies to cut your back bodies. I'm just doing this so that you guys will not be confused. So I went down by 1 inch for my neckline, which we don't even need. Okay, I'm just doing this so that you guys will understand. After doing that, I'm going to trim off this front armhole. Remember, we came in by half an inch on the armhole area, and it's just for the front. So after trimming it off, I'm going to open my pattern paper like this. So we're going to modernize this shoulder area. I'm going to just come in by 3 inches, and then I'm going to use my ruler to connect from that point to meet this sweetheart line, just like you see me doing. So guys, after doing that, I decided to still come inward like this on the armhole area by half an inch, just to make that shoulder line smaller. I did 1 inch. I'm just going to connect like this into the armhole area. Okay, so just do whatever you want to do here. Okay, after doing that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut. Like I said before, you can make your V neckline, you can make it deeper. Okay, and you can also make sure that your curve is really showing. As you can see, mine is not really curvy because of the kind of ruler that I used. So after doing that, I'm going to go ahead and cut. So guys, as you can see on the thumbnail, it has a yoke. So when you are cutting, cut straight down to the armhole before you split the dart open. I forgot, so I don't know what I was thinking, but I forgot to do that, so I messed up my yoke. So go ahead and cut just like that arrow is showing you. Go ahead and cut through like this, and then you have your yoke. You can use your mesh net to now create your yoke. So after cutting out, guys, this is what I have. Okay, So guys, for the back you don't have to do much. Like I said before, you can use your front pattern to cut out the back, but I just want you guys to understand what I'm doing. So I placed my front pattern on the back and I traced out the slanted line, okay, and then I'm going to cut that out. The only difference between the front and the back is this zipper allowance that you can see. After doing that, I'll make sure I also trace my shoulder, okay, so that the shoulder of the back and that of the front will meet up and it will be equal. After doing that, I'm going to place this on my fabric. So remember that one side of our top does not have armhole. So while placing this on your fabric, you're going to cut out the yoke also, okay. You cut out the yoke for one side of the back. You can decide to create a yoke, you can decide not to, and if you like, you can just draft the back in full and then cut out your yoke and use your mesh net to like create a yoke. You can just work your way around this, do whatever you want to do with the back. If you did not draft your back piece, you can just fold the front in, just like you see me doing. Just fold the front in and place it on your fabric and then use it to cut out your back. So yeah guys, I hope this tutorial was helpful. Please don't forget to like this video, leave your questions in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.